Most people think that the only two ways that one can make money off of League of Legends is through A, content creation, or B, playing professionally. This isn't the case. Deep within the league scene lies an LP black market where players desperate to rank up can pay others, known as boosters, to play with them or on their accounts and win games for them. Today, we'll be taking a look at one of North America's most infamous boosters who, at his peak, was making up to $200 an hour. This is the story of Rezz. Our story begins in 2011. At the time, the Call of Duty craze was in full swing. With most high schoolers grinding the game, Rezz was no exception. After hearing about a relatively new game that just started its second season called League of Legends, Rezz decided to give it a shot and download it. At the start, he was just a casual player. He would almost exclusively play the 3v3 game mode called Twisted Treeline with friends from school, and would spend hours learning the basics of the game with champions such as Sona, Caitlyn, and Ezreal. Although his approach to the game remained mostly casual, over seasons 3 and 4, he started to become more and more competitive. He would only play upwards of 50 to 100 ranked games a season, but competition among friends wanted him to prove that he was the best among his group. With a champion pool consisting of Warwick, Sona, Ezreal, and Kennen, he managed to hit Platinum in late Season 4. Since Warwick Jungle ended up becoming a very good pick in Season 5, Rezz hit Diamond only a few months in. Due to internet issues, he didn't want to try for more since he knew the games would only get harder and his lag would hold him back. Whenever he would fill mid or top, he would continue to keep his diversified champ pool and lock in either Riven or Kennen. Then, things started to change. In Season 6 he got better internet. Knowing now that he wouldn't be held back by lag anymore, he decided to take ranked more seriously. He knew that his diversified champion and role pool was not suited for climbing, and thus he settled on becoming a one-trick pony in order to learn the ins and outs of one specific champion at a challenger level. Although he primarily played jungle, the role he had the most fun with was top lane, and he knew that the champion he would decide to OTP would have to be something that could destroy players at the highest level. Since most of the respected top laners at the time, like Revenge and Viper, were Riven OTPs, he wanted to choose something that could do well into it, and so he settled on Kennen. In less than a month, Rezz managed to hit Master. He noticed that even though he was playing at a very high level, if he really wanted to become one of the best, he needed to drop his ego, stop flaming, and learn from better players. After several months of solely focusing on his own gameplay and constantly looking for things to improve on, he hit Challenger. In order to make a bit of money on the side, he applied to several boosting sites. He was given orders that ranged anywhere from Platinum to Diamond and was being paid roughly $7 a game. After only a month, he decided to stop since the money wasn't worth the amount of time he was putting into it, and just decided to continue focusing on school. In Season 7, it all changed. After feeling burnt out from school, Rezz decided to take time off and move in with his sister. He got a job at a school, working 30 hours a week, and since he had a better internet, he decided to commit to solo queue during his free time. During the first part of the season, he spammed games on one account to see how high up on the ladder he could get. After peaking top 30 and consistently carrying challenger games, boosting groups started to contact him for recruitment. After working with many of these sites, Rezz realized that the majority of them would severely underpay their boosters and take 40 to 70% cuts of all orders. This meant that if someone were to buy a boost from Diamond 3 to Diamond 2 for $200, the booster would only be paid $100. Due to the predatory nature of the industry, he decided to stick with the two sites that gave the best cuts and offered the highest ELO orders, which were, at the time, L9EB and ELO Daddy. The thing that separated Rezz from every other booster was that he would only take high ELO orders. Since boosters are paid based off the amount of games they win, playing in high MMR brackets is very stressful since they need to consistently 1v9 at the highest level. At the time, Rezz would usually be paid anywhere from 100 to 250 for diamond orders, and Master Plus net wins would pay anywhere from 35 to 50. One way that Rezz would double the amount of money he would make was by duoing during orders. He would take a solo order, then also take a duo order in the same elo range, so that way he could complete both at the same time. The most he ever made by doing 2 orders at the same time was $220. Then Season 8 struck. Without work or school to worry about, Rezz was fully committed to League. Since he would sell all of his accounts at the end of each season, he asked a good friend of his for one that he could use to climb as high as he could. And so, starting Platinum 1, he skyrocketed through the ranks. Every game was a 1v9, and seeing the enemy team lock in Kennen struck fear in the hearts of all Challenger players. Since he was High Challenger, he, along with other high-low players such as Robin and Tempest, would also name change to advertise for boosting sites, with IGNs such as TCLBZZER. Anyone with names like these were not only paid $100 to $200 per week, but also given first selection of any orders that the sites would acquire, along with an 80% cut on all the ones they decided to take. Then, the unthinkable happened. After hitting rank 7 on the North American ladder with 985 LP, his account got locked. Being so high up on the ladder was attracting the attention of everyone, and some started to question whether the account he was playing on was even his. After multiple reports, Riot banned his account, and since his friends stopped playing the game, Rezz was unable to recover it. The account decayed to Diamond, and Rezz never tried for rank 1 ever again. After that, things changed. He spent the rest of the season just focusing on boosting. Most of his orders were Master Plus, and he would make anywhere from $50 to $70 per net win. Even though it paid well, it was very inconsistent. He could acquire a D1 to Master order for $250, finish it in one night, and then have no clients for the next 5 days. Because of this, Rezz decided to move back with his parents and get a job making snowmobiles for a steady income. Because he duo boosted so many players in Master and Challenger, he had several high elo accounts that he sold at the end of the season for up to $1,300 apiece. At the beginning of Season 9, he quit his job and took another year off of everything to focus solely on boosting. WeChat was a service that recently started coming into popularity, and the people who would buy its services were all rich Chinese transfer students that would always overpay. Diamond 1 to Master orders would usually be $200 to $250, however the people who used WeChat would pay anywhere from $350 to $400. Since they wanted the best service possible, they would scout the ladder and try to find high rank and win rate players with WeChat names that they could contact for boosting services. Rezz decided to talk to Hums, another Challenger booster, and offered to do an unranked to highest elo with highest win rate duo in order for them to have the best WeChat advertisement possible. And so, partnering with both WeChat and L9EB, their climb commenced. In order to minimize the amount of losses, they abused dodging. Target banned? Dodge. Autofills? Dodge. Bad drafts? Dodge. Bad matchups? Dodge. It got to the point where they'd be lucky to play more than 5 games a day. They had such an insane win rate that once they got to higher elo, they'd get target banned almost every game as well. At 8 AM, they'd play one game, and for the next 6 hours, Draven and Kennen would be banned every lobby. Due to issues with the WeChat representative, they ended their climb at 1000 LP with an 85% win rate. Since the clients he was boosting had already developed a relationship with him after duoing for so long, even though he and WeChat parted ways, he kept most of the clients as privates that he continued to boost throughout the seasons, with one of his Challenger clients paying him upwards of $75 a game, win or lose. After several months of completing as many boost orders as possible, another challenge took place. Tarzan was looking for a duo that he could do a lossless unranked to Master challenge with, and since Elo Daddy had been working with Rezz for years and knew how good he was, he put them in contact with one another. Their climb commenced, and after 56 wins and 0 losses, they completed it. Rezz and Tarzan became the first players in the world to hit Master Tier without losing a single game. After this, business started booming, with Rezz now being on everyone's radar as one of the best solo laners in North America. He started to get many private boost orders. He had so many clients that it wouldn't be uncommon that he'd make up to $1,000 a night. Then, in Season 10, Rezz took a step back from everything. He re-entered into university and only did boosting as a side hustle. Even though it had supported him for all these years and made him a lot of money, he didn't see it as a viable career path. Not only was there little to no social interaction, since most nights would be spent mindlessly grinding games, but it was also extremely stressful. Since every game had money involved, losing felt horrible, and it was also impossible to tilt and have poor gameplay, or else you'd lose even more potential profits. In the middle of the season, he and Hum started their own WeChat, but due to issues with management, they stopped soon after. He didn't have to actively look for clients since he had built up a repertoire of people who would consistently order duo games in Master Plus, and anyone that wanted to contact him for games would just shoot him a DM through Discord, so he didn't have to work through sites anymore. Boosting also became a lot less inconsistent, since he'd have multiple people order D1 to Challenger orders for a few thousand, then play all their decay games with him throughout the season. With several people paying anywhere from $35 to $45 a game every day for 6 months straight, he could make $600 to $700 a week by only working part-time while he studied. Then, in Season 11, Riot killed high-low boosting. By removing Duo Queue in Master Plus, all of the clients that Rezz had built up who would order duo games from Master to Challenger couldn't order anymore. Clients who would order anywhere from 100 to 200 games a season were now ordering none, and so business, especially for high elo players like Rezz, started a downwards trend. While clients became much less common, the amount of people looking to boost only increased. Since the ladder is inflated, with nearly 5,000 players in Master Plus alone, there are many more players looking to boost this season than ever before. With how bleak the future of boosting looks, it's unlikely that Rezz's crown will ever be toppled. Thank you all for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell.